Bigo, tune in for the show. Business matters, we're about to blow. Streaming each night, never take a break. Making real big moves, can't make mistakes. Bigo.
All right, everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're jumping headfirst into the world of live streaming.
Awesome.
And specifically, we're going to be looking at something called PK on the app Bigo Live.
All right.
Now, if you're like me, you might be thinking penalty kicks, right?
Yep.
But no. This is a whole different beast.
Completely different.
We're talking real-time streamer showdowns fueled by virtual GIFs. And let me tell you, it gets intense.
It does, yeah. It's a whole world unto itself.
I am so ready to unpack this. Are you?
Oh, absolutely. And I think you're going to find this concept of PK battles pretty fascinating. By the way, PK actually stands for battles.
Okay, so right off the bat, not what I expected.
No, and it's not just, like a fun little competition.
Right.
It actually reveals a lot about how these trends actually, evolve and spread across different cultures.
That's interesting. So where did this whole PK thing even come from?
Well, what we're seeing on Bigo Live is actually a migration of a trend that started on other Asian live streaming platforms, primarily Momo and YY. And it highlights how digital trends can really cross borders and adapt to these new platforms and new audiences.
It's like a global game of digital tag.
Right, exactly.
So walk me through how these PK battles actually work. Imagine I'm tuning in for the first time. What am I going to see?
So picture this.
Mm-hmm.
Two streamers decide to challenge each other.
Okay.
And suddenly, their audiences merge into this one massive virtual arena. It's a live showdown. And the viewers, they aren't just passive observers.
Right.
They actually get to vote for their favorite streamer by sending virtual gifts called diamonds.
So it's kind of like a live interactive talent show.
Exactly. Yeah, where the audience has all the power. And what's really cool is the variety of these PK battles. You might see anything from these epic singing battles, intense dance-offs, to silly challenges with hilarious punishments for the loser.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now that sounds ridiculously entertaining.
Oh yeah.
It's like those old school MTV challenge shows, but with a modern interactive twist. I'm already picturing some seriously creative out there challenges.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the best part is it's not limited to just one-on-one showdowns.
Okay, so there's more.
Yeah. Streamers can PK their friends, random opponents, or even team up for these epic group battles.
Wow, that adds a whole other layer of strategy.
Exactly.
I can see streamers forming alliances, strategizing, and really building up the hype for these battles.
Oh yeah, you got it. And that strategic element is a big part of why PK battles have become such a game changer in the live streaming world.
Okay, so spill the tea. What makes this so much more than just a fun competition? How is it changing the game?
Well, for starters, it's totally transformed the way streamers engage with their fans. That competitive element creates this shared experience, sense of community, and makes viewers feel even more invested in their favorite streamer's success.
I bet it's like being a super fan. Cheering on your team at the finals. I can see how that level of engagement would be a total game changer for streamers.
Totally. And you know what goes hand in hand with that heightened engagement?
Let me guess. More opportunities for streamers to earn.
You got it. PK battles have introduced this whole new dynamic to live streaming monetization. When fans are hyped up and emotionally invested, they're way more likely to shower their favorite streamers with those virtual gifts.
Right.
And those gifts, that's how streamers generate income.
So it's like a symbiotic relationship. Fans get more exciting content, streamers get more support, and platforms like Bigo Live benefit from that increased activity, the engagement. It's a win-win-win situation.
Exactly. But there's another dimension to this that's often overlooked. Content innovation.
Oh, okay.
PK battles have pushed streamers to get creative and really think outside the box. It's not just about chatting with your viewers anymore.
Yeah.
It's about coming up with this fresh, engaging content that will give you an edge in these battles.
Right. And the constant competition must keep things interesting, both for the streamers and the viewers.
Oh, absolutely.
They're more like stale content or predictable routines. It's like a constant stream of fresh ideas and surprises.
Yeah, you're starting to see the bigger picture here. PK battles have injected this healthy dose of dynamism into the live streaming world, benefiting everyone involved, and that's why it's such a fascinating phenomenon to explore.
I'm already hooked. Now, I have to ask, just in case our listener is feeling adventurous, how easy is it to actually start a PK battle on Bigo Live?
Oh, it's surprisingly straightforward. From what I gather, you simply go live on the app, hit the PK button, choose your battle mode, solo, team, whatever you're feeling.
Right.
And boom, you're in the arena. And there's even a fans PK option.
Oh, what's that?
Which means viewers can actually battle each other to support their favorite streamers.
Whoa, hold up. Fans can battle each other.
Yeah.
Now that's next level audience participation. It takes the whole concept of interactive entertainment to like a whole new dimension.
It really does. And it just goes to show how PK battles have taken the concept of online communities and gamified them in a way that's both engaging and lucrative. But it's not all fun and games.
Right.
There's got to be some strategic thinking involved.
You read my mind. I'm dying to know the secrets to PK battle success. What are the tactics, the strategies, the things that separate the champions from the, well, let's just say those who need more practice.
All right, so let's dive into that strategic playbook. In the next part of our deep dive, we're going to break down the art of choosing opponents, maximizing fan support, and crafting these winning content strategies.
Ooh, this is where it gets really interesting. So if you're ready to level up your PK battle game, stay tuned because we're just getting started.
All right, so let's dive into this strategic playbook, like the actual nitty-gritty of these Bigo Live PK battles. Because, there's more to it than just going live and hoping for the best. There's a real art to choosing your opponents, rallying your fan base, and tailoring your content for like maximum impact.
Okay, so first things first, how does a streamer even choose who to battle? Is it like a Wild West showdown?
Right.
Anyone can challenge anyone.
It's actually a lot more nuanced than that. You've got options, which is what makes it so strategically interesting. You could challenge a friend,
Okay.
which is a great way to, just have some fun, build camaraderie with, fellow streamers.
That makes sense. It's like a friendly rivalry that gets the fans excited but keeps things lighthearted.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking to really climb those Bigo Live ranks and make a name for yourself, you might want to consider battling a random streamer.
Okay.
It's a bit like rolling the dice. Adds an element of surprise. Can really test your skills.
Oh, I love that. It's like a high-stakes game of chance where you never know who you're going to end up facing. It must be such a rush for both the streamers and the viewers.
Absolutely. But regardless of who you choose to battle, there is one crucial element that can really, make or break your PK success. Audience engagement.
Yeah, makes sense.
You need to cultivate this, passionate fan base that's ready to rally behind you and shower you with those virtual gifts.
That makes total sense. It's like having a dedicated cheering section.
Yes.
A loyal army of supporters who are just as invested in the battle as you are.
Precisely. So smart streamers are going all out when it comes to hyping up their audience before a PK battle. Think like pregame pep rallies.
Oh, wow.
Strategic shout-outs, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, anything to make their fans feel like they're part of the action.
So it sounds like building that sense of community is just as important as honing your performance skills.
Absolutely. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
The more you interact with your viewers, answer their questions, and make them feel seen and appreciated, the more likely they are to, go all out in supporting you during that PK battle.
So it's not just about being a talented performer. It's about being like a master community builder.
You hit the nail on the head. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Choosing the right content for your battle.
Right.
Remember we talked about how PK battles can really encompass all sorts of things, right? Singing, dancing, silly challenges. The possibilities are kind of endless.
Right. It's like a digital variety show on steroids.
Yes.
So how does a streamer decide what kind of content is going to give them the best chance of winning?
Well, this is where knowing your audience and playing to your strengths becomes super important. If you're a streamer known for your incredible singing voice, maybe a vocal showdown might be your winning ticket.
Yeah, that makes sense. Lean into what you're good at.
Exactly.
What your fans love to see.
Exactly. But even if you're not, a professional singer or dancer, you can still create a winning strategy by focusing on content that is engaging, entertaining, and authentic to your personality.
Like those crazy challenges with the hilarious punishments.
Yes.
We talked about those earlier. those always seem to be a hit with viewers.
Oh, they absolutely are. People love a good laugh, and those lighthearted challenges are a fantastic way to connect with your audience on a more personal level.
Right.
And let's not forget the power of surprise. Throwing in an unexpected twist, a never before seen challenge, that can really keep your viewers on the edge of their seats, eager to see what happens next.
It's all about creating a memorable experience.
Yeah.
That'll leave your audience wanting more.
Exactly.
I'm starting to see how much strategy goes into these PK battles. Yeah. It's not just about talent.
Right.
It's about understanding your audience.
Yeah.
Playing to your strengths. Mm-hmm. Creating a captivating show.
Exactly. But before we declare you a PK battle strategist, there's one more layer we need to explore.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about those Asian origins of this trend?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that the cultural context plays this really fascinating role in shaping the way these PK battles unfold and how people engage with them. Oh, that's right. We can't forget the cultural significance here. Tell me more about how that Asian context influences PK battles.
Okay, so we've talked about how these battles work. We've talked about the strategies involved.
Right.
We even touched upon some cultural influences. But it's time to get real for a minute.
Yeah.
And address kind of the elephant in the room. The potential downsides.
Right.
Because let's face it, anytime you introduce competition, especially in the online world, there's always a chance things could get a little out of hand.
Yeah, absolutely. While PK battles can be, a lot of fun and they create amazing opportunities for streamers and viewers, it's crucial to acknowledge that there are some potential risks involved.
Right. And I think one of the biggest concerns has to do with the pressure to spend money.
Yeah.
We talked about how viewers use virtual gifts to support their favorite streamers. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of what makes these PK battles so exciting and interactive. But I could see how that could become problematic for some viewers. Absolutely. It's easy to get caught up in the moment,
Yeah.
Especially when you're watching this intense PK battle.
Right.
You really want your favorite streamer to win. You might feel compelled to keep sending those gifts, even if it means going over your budget.
Right. It's like that feeling of being at like a live auction.
Yes.
Where the energy is high and you just get swept up in this like bidding frenzy.
Totally.
It's important for viewers to remember that virtual gifts, even though they exist in the digital world, still represent like real money.
Exactly. Responsible engagement is key here.
Yeah.
Viewers need to set limits for themselves and stick to them no matter how tempting it might be to go overboard.
And I imagine platforms like Bigo Live have a responsibility here as well, right? To kind of help.
Absolutely. They need to implement safeguards and provide resources to promote responsible spending. Mm-hmm. Things like spending limits, pop-up reminders, maybe even educational content about managing your budget, avoiding overspending. It's
like creating a safety net, right? For viewers. A way to make sure that everyone can enjoy the excitement of these PK battles without falling into financial traps.
Exactly. Now, another potential downside that we need to address is the risk of toxicity.
Yeah.
We've all seen how online interactions can sometimes devolve into, negativity and harassment.
Right.
And unfortunately, PK battles, they aren't immune to this.
It makes sense. Competition can sometimes bring out the worst in people, and in the heat of the moment, things can escalate quickly.
Right. So it's crucial for platforms to have these clear guidelines and moderation policies in place to really address any toxic behavior. They need to foster this culture of respect and sportsmanship,
right,
both between the streamers and within the audience.
And it's not just up to the platforms, right? I think we as viewers, we have a responsibility here as well.
Oh, absolutely.
We need to hold each other accountable and report any instances of harassment or bullying that we see. We all have a role to play in creating a positive and supportive community.
I completely agree. Remember, behind those usernames are real people.
Right.
With real feelings.
Yeah.
And the anonymity of the internet, it shouldn't be a license to be cruel or disrespectful.
Yeah.
Words have power, and we need to use them wisely.
Well said. Now, there's another potential downside that I wanted to touch upon, and it has to do with the pressure on streamers to constantly perform and kind of outdo themselves.
Yeah, that's a really insightful point.
Right.
Streamers already face a lot of pressure. to create engaging content, build their audience, and stand out in this crowded digital space.
Right.
And PK battles can definitely amplify that pressure.
Right, because there's this added element of competition and the constant drive to win. Streamers might feel like they have to push themselves to extremes to take bigger risks or engage in behaviors that might not be, healthy or sustainable in the long run.
Absolutely. It's a slippery slope, and it's important for streamers to prioritize their well-being, both physical and mental. They need to set boundaries, take breaks, and remember that their worth isn't tied to their PK battle win-loss record.
It's about finding a balance, right? Enjoying the competition, connecting with their audience, but also protecting their own mental and emotional health.
Exactly. And platforms have a responsibility to support streamers in maintaining that balance. They need to create resources and initiatives that encourage healthy streaming habits and provide guidance on, dealing with the pressures of online competition.
I think we've covered a lot of ground today, from the exciting aspects of these PK battles to the potential pitfalls. What are your final thoughts on this whole phenomenon?
Well, I think PK battles are this fascinating example of how technology is reshaping entertainment and creating these new forms of community and engagement. They offer incredible opportunities for creativity, connection, even income generation. But it's crucial to approach them with a balanced perspective, being mindful of both the positive and negative aspects.
Well said. It's all about finding that sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
Embracing the fun and the excitement while staying grounded in reality and prioritizing responsible engagement.
I think that's a perfect takeaway.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of PK battles. We hope you gained some new insights and perspectives.
And until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the ever-evolving world of online entertainment.
Remember, have fun, engage responsibly, and let's all work together to create a positive and supportive online community.
Bigo, tune in for the show. Business matters, they run a whole flow. Streaming every night, they never take a break. Making moves online, no time for mistakes. Bigo, we on the grind. Business matters.